Well, hey there team, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to Stationeers. We're doing the level 1 update. We've started a fresh sort of farm and we're sort of just pottering along basically. Had a bit of a chat towards the end. We might turn this bloke back that way. We built some log ships. I had a fairly in-depth discussion as to how, in theory, you know, on the whiteboard theory of how the logic will work to dictate the sun. So you're welcome to check that out if you want. Not dictate the sun, you know what I mean, to track the sun, to chase the sun. I'm just going to eat really quickly because you can see I've got that warning in the corner, which is handy. Did someone say that there might be I have a compass bearing. Wow, that's almost game-breakingly awesome. Now that is new. We never used to have a compass bearing. Oh my goodness, that changes everything. Thank you for whoever pointed that out. I never would have noticed, to be honest. That UI is so hidden away in the corner. Okay, so if we have a look at the temperature of this, it's at 10 degrees and we've got 800 kPa, right? So we've got to start taking notice of all of this. So 10.7 degrees. Cool. We're going to do our rounds. Would love to automate this. We'll get there eventually. So we close up. Open this. Everything's grown, which is great. And we're down to, what's this, 7 kPa at 17 degrees? That's alright, I suppose. Okay, so we're just trying to find a happy sort of medium. I'll just do this really quickly. Oh wait, what happened there? Oh, I feel like I pulled that plan out. Maybe it wasn't done, or maybe I somehow clicked on it incorrectly. It's possible. Lucky we've got a bazillion potatoes, eh? Okay, so set outward, 7 and an 18. Okay. 14, 15, at 12 kPa. It can handle 12 kPa. Alright, the problem that we're sort of approaching here is I'm taking out too much pressure. Like on the next round, we might actually have a serious problem. That's okay, we've got the... Oh shit, hang on. I think I stuffed up there. Bugger. That would have helped a lot because that was kind of warm. See, the silliest mistakes can happen. Because I was too busy like doing math in my head. All right, 9. Okay, so like net change, not that bad. I mean, this is still a lower temperature. Would have been good if we could have put that back in. What we will probably do is endeavor to make the temperature higher during the day. I'm going to suck some more air into it, right? And try and get it up to maybe, I don't know, 12 degrees or something like that. But we're getting better. We're getting to a sort of zero state, which is nice. Okay, cool. So I guess setting up this dish is a big priority. And I've got all the parts and we've got the sensor. So we should be able to get the ball rolling. Okay, so look, ultimately, what are we going to do here? We need, everything starts with a writer, right? Essentially, well, I mean, we could work backwards. Someone did point out that I could maneuver the dish to make it easier. If I did, well, look, if I do, say I had a farm of these dishes, right? I suppose it would make sense to do it in a row like that, you know, because they're potentially going to obstruct each other if they're in front of each other. So, yeah, I can see what the commentor is saying. So let's take that advice on board and act on it. All right, what are we going to need to do this? No, probably an angle grinder or something. Wrench, okay. Maybe it is an angle grinder. Or am I looking at the wrong part? No. Angle grinder. What? Wait, no, I'm looking at the wrong thing. Let me deconstruct you, sir. Drill? Drill. Okay. It's a bit strange that it wasn't giving me a tooltip telling me how to do it. We're just going to weld this back on while we remember. Oh, whoops. Bounce that thing. That was probably unwise. The physics in this can be quite aggressive. Okay. So we could rotate that as suggested. You can also have two operating options, which is power and data. Yeah, I'm okay with that, actually. We'll put it that way. They can share the same port. So you can see this version of it has a single port. That's okay, because we'll draw the power, yeah, into the sort of hub. Okay, so we'll put this back together as well. So if we're going to construct this, let's, I don't know, let's try and do it in a way that sort of flows and makes sense. So essentially your power is going to come out of here, but there's also going to be the data feeding into there. Alright, 70% will do. So, actually, sorry, what am I saying? Data. No, we're sending, yeah, we're sending data into there. We're drawing data from this, which we might end up moving. So it's one of those things, it's kind of easy just to do, but I need to explain it as I go. Alright, so if we go with the logic reader, you can see there's all different versions. You can do batch writing and reading. Again, I only batch when I have to batch, just because it's a professional habit, I suppose. And it'll be a good example when we do put more dishes in to show you that you can change it. But essentially, we want the logic reader, right? So if you want to think about it, I don't know what people's programming skills and knowledge base are coming into this game. But this is, like, for example, the data that this is sending data. For example, it's sending the angle that it's at, right? You could ask it what horizontal or vertical plane it's at, right? You could also send data to it, but that's sending data. This is sending like degree, angles, all that sort of stuff as well. So they're all sending lots of data, but how do you, that's confused. There's a whole bunch of data and you have to sort of unravel it, right? So essentially what's going to happen, and we're just going to put it all on the same network. We're going to need more we're going to need more of this, right? But we've got the power. The power has to go in the top and the data goes in the bottom. Now, I have short-circuited it in the past, but if all the power is going through the system and then out the back end, I think we'll be okay. We shouldn't short circuit. The important part, I think, where we ran into trouble was with the power controller. So what I'm going to do is I want a dedicated power controller to this system. So it probably makes more sense to even put that first if we're sort of laying this out, since it's almost a pseudo bloody tutorial, right? So we'll take, well, we'll just take that one out because it's closer, right? So this isn't going to be on our grid anymore. This is essentially going to be a dedicated thing for this. Hang on, which way's up and down? You know, let's do it right. Yeah, I am right this time. Okay, so data and power in and power through. That's what we want. Cool. So we're going to run into trouble here because I need to make cable, but I also need the solar panel to give me power, potentially. Oh, hang on. So we're going to have a slight detour while we deal with this. Because I moved it and I technically don't have enough cable. We've got a little bit of battery there. Do I have copper in here? I do. How much? 6 ingots will do perfectly. Better close that. Essentially, I predict that we're going to run out of cable. So we're going to rectify that now. We'll just cook it all. That'll give us 12 lengths because 1 ingot gives you 2 cable. It works in half. Works in the fraction. That should be it. All right. Cool. Oh, that barely used any power. I had nothing to panic about all along. So, obviously, the sooner we get this done, the better. We're going to... We're not even going to rig that up to the main yet. What we're going to do is run this around here. Okay, so if you're following me so far, power comes from the dish and it goes into this. Alright. We do that. We chuck a small battery in for the time being, though ideally a large battery would work, but it sort of is a little glitchy and you can get away with doing it this way. I guess we can turn it on. So there you go, it's getting some draw because of that. Cool. So right now we've got power going into there. Now, oh, hang on. Hang on, I'm starting to see my problem. Because here's the thing, if I might accidentally short circuit this system if I do this by having that power source on the front. I'm pretty sure, like, this line passes power but not data. I don't think it passes data. If I connect that up around, that's a short circuit, right? Power going back in. Yeah, that should not be good. So I need to avoid connecting those in. But I do want to connect that up to there. Do that. So there's your power going through. All right. I could have sworn I've done this network where the power and all that doesn't really care, doesn't matter. Right? But like, for example, I'll show you. This should explode the wire, right? This should immediately blow the wires out. Should it not? What have I missed here? Oh, maybe not. Okay. Stuff it. Show goes on. Okay, I've misunderstood something along the way. That's fine. So we're going to plug this in. So there's that's going to be your logic reader, and we'll also have that. Where's a nice clean place that we can put this? We'll see if we can get away with putting it there. Burying it. There you go. Solar angle 96 degrees. Well, actually, no, we'll just wait, and so that seems pretty... Seems like it might be back to front, actually, but... We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. All right, so get the screwdriver, and we now can select data in. So, no, change to daylight sensor. Logic reading, daylight sensor, and then you can say what variable that we want to send out. Okay. Hang on, what have I done? Daylight sensor, and then the variable. Change to mode in daylight sensor. Well, mode, we don't need that. Solar angle. There we go. 116. 116 degrees, 117 degrees. That seems about right because that's 90 there. And that just passed. Cool. Okay. So it's taking that reading quite well. So the next thing that you want to feed it into... Where are my logic parts gone? Oh. We need to have it go into a processor. Alright. Right, so unary, logic, math. I think the math unit is how it works these days. So you'll have input 1, input 2, and output, but you can decide what to do with that, right? Add, subtract. So what we're actually going to want to do is divide. Alright, so I'll hook this up. We're probably going to run out of, we're going to run out of cable of all things. I thought we were Gucci. Alright. Because that needs power. It also needs an input. Bugger. So we need to find some more copper. Especially before that sun goes down. Something tells... No, did I find copper over that way or not? I did not. Maybe. That's not copper. Come on. That gold? Looks like gold. Come on, man, give me copper while the sun still shines. Oh, here comes the shade. I mean, hey, it's good to know there's so much iron and gold around. That will be helpful at some point. I feel like I'm being chased by the sun. Oh, that glare, I can't tell what that is. It's iron. Man, look at that, pitch black. Well, that's balls in me face. So, a bit sad that we ran out of so much of that. I will just double check. You never know, I might actually have... That thing's going to burn forever. It's so good. Oh, well, here we go. Hang on. I knew I was right about the short circuit. Good to know. So essentially the situation that we're running is, like, in this case, there's no power going into that system, right? But your logic reader is still drawing power, right? So it will flatten the wherever it's got to draw power from somewhere, right? If I don't have a battery, then it's just drawing it from the solar panel, and that's no good because it needs power to basically restart before it can use. It needs power to sort of jumpstart the engine, as it were, right? So we need a power source or a battery. We need a battery of sorts between the dish and the system. I was certain that I'd short circuit if I did that. But I tried anyway because you want to double check. You want to make sure with these sort of things. So what we're probably going to have to do is keep the power and the data on the logic separate, which is fine. We can do that easily enough. I just kind of wanted to try and do a compact sort of thing. And it was one of those things. You've got to trial and error. And I'm the first person to admit that I will have a brain fart. And that's what I was saying. I was like, I could swear this is short-circuiting, but I'm going to give it a go to make sure. It's not short-circuiting. Maybe I'm wrong. Somehow I've misunderstood my first principles. I mean, in this particular case, I haven't. I was right. But it's still good to sort of check yourself, I suppose. I won't edit this. I'll leave all this in to help share with people. Even someone that's been playing this game for a little while can have a brain fart. Now, the fortunate thing is that they all have like a common sort of power side to them. So it should be easy enough to eliminate the crossover with messy cables and all that sort of stuff. The problem... Oh, no, we'll have to pull the dish down as well and separate the power and data lines. I wonder... I guess as long as everything's flowing in the same direction, right? If you were just drawing data from the dish, you would have this combined opening. But we want to send data to the dish as well. All right, yeah, actually, we don't want to draw it. We want to send it. So we'll align that there. Hang on. That's the math one. This will be the writer. Right. I don't believe the memory slot requires power. It's just memory sort of thing. So we'll do like that, right? Yeah, and I guess we could have our main sort of data cable so we'll have a power cable run the top, and we'll have a data cable run the bottom sort of thing. Okay, cool. That's cool. I feel a little less silly now. I'm glad I still gave it a go, but you can see when that happens, it sort of blows your cable, which is a pain in the bum. All right, so we'll have the power come out there, right? So what's going to happen there basically is, because we want our power to run across the top, and that's going to come out of that. So we might end up rotating our power controller, actually. I mean, not that I intended it, but it probably helps to show why that you will short circuit if you do it that way. I'm not going to go and say, oh, it was all part of the exercise. I was trying to show that. No, I wasn't. I was trying to find a shortcut. Okay, here we go. So what we'll do is we'll do this. So we'll essentially put the power out.
Hunger, caution.
Well, actually, no, we're going to need that to go power in. Yeah. Yeah. So what I'll do is this. Too bad we're running out of power. We need to hurry up and get this sorted. Alright. Now, as much as I would love to do the rounds another night, we might just leave them. Those potatoes might die. Interestingly, though, we might get a bit of extra heat from it. Leaving them for a night might do us some good. Might not, but we'll see. Okay, yeah, so I'm going to have the power run down and around. Well, I can't actually, no, if I'm going to have to run it along that line. I'm also sort of trying to future-proof this. If we're going to batch along there, Having their power line there. Oh no, I guess we could run a data cable like around the back or something like that. Well, they're all going to need power and they're all going to need data. No, so that's fine. It's not the end of the world. But what will have to happen is we won't have this logic reader there. We'll have to move that because ultimately I can't run the power line up there. I need to run through there. And we can run a data line through there. Oh, okay. We could probably move it down another step. This is interesting, actually. Now that I've given up on being too compact, I'm sort of just doing something like that. Yeah, I think that'll be better, actually. No, math. This is good. This is also a good illustration. You know, I'm trying to humble myself as best I can in the face of it, but I haven't actually wired in a logic set for so long that, like, there's a hubris associated with this. I was like, oh yeah, this would just be easy. Oh my god. And I've just started doing it, and I'm having all these problems. So it goes to show you can get out of practice, you know? Alright, so we'll pop that in there. Cool. And what's going to happen there is our power cable will... And we'll pull that down in a sec. Yep, our power cable will go like so. Oh, what are you doing? It goes under there. Excuse me. Right. Look, we'll just flick this to on and close it up so that it's a bit easier to see what's going on. Right. So power's going in through there. That is a mixed power and data cable, by the way, even though it just says one. And this is what I was worried about, like they'll intersect here if you're not careful. So we're going to go like this, and we're actually going to run our power cable one step down, like that. Alright? So that's the beginning of the power cable, and just to give you an idea, it's gonna run along here and feed into the hat of all of them, okay? Then we're gonna have like a data cable, a common data cable running underneath the bottom that they can all sort of jump onto. So the memory chip will have to move. I mean, I guess I could just do something rugged. But if we want to stay with the spirit of what we're actually doing, and we did give up on being too... It's less about compact now and more about being clear, right? Then we should be doing this. Right, put that away. Put that there. And even though this doesn't need power, it makes sense to just run it on the sort of common line. I guess we could do it like that for the moment. Because I believe the memory, it'll just output this block on either side. It doesn't, I don't think there's really an in and out, is there? It's just memory. So we could do it like that. Yeah, that'll do. Okay, cool. We're getting there. And funnily enough, after closing this thing up, we're going to have to open it because this is still going to serve as our power source for the moment. So we kind of need that to charge. Especially this one. And then we'll... Oh, okay. Does it go in 90s? Yeah. There we go, perfect. Because obviously we've installed it at a right angle, and that should start charging that. Cool. Okay, so you might be able to start seeing it now if you're not familiar. If you are familiar, you're probably laughing your ass off when I short-circuited myself. But I'm sure anyone doing these sort of complicated things has had that same problem where you're like, is that how gravity works? Like, you're so into a complex puzzle or logic system or problem to solve that you forget some of the basic principles, and then you can start second guessing yourself. So, you know, I'm happy to admit it happens to the best of us, you know? But yeah, so this will run power in through this box. So this box is generating, and then now ultimately this box will then feed this logic system. We'll run a power main along the top that will feed anything that needs power, and all the data in and outs will come out the side or bottom into a main data line, right? And because you have little adjusters on that, the data can travel freely back and forth to wherever it needs to go, and you can adjust the things to pick up what data to take. And then ultimately at the end, we'll run the data cable out and around and back in the back of here. We will pull down the dish and change it so that the data line is out here. And that's how it's going to basically work. And then this will be attached not to that cable, but to the new bottom cable that we end up doing, essentially because it's part of the data network and it doesn't need power. This should make some more sense. Personally, I'm happier with this, actually. I was trying to be really neat and tidy, which I suppose you could do. But, yeah, look, putting all the power and data on the same network just doesn't really work for me. Yeah. Yep. Because at the end of the day, like, we're still going to have to draw the power of the dish out as well. So what will end up happening at the end of this power main, the missing sort of part of the puzzle, is that this goes on. So we'll probably just loop the power line all the way back around to there, right? Because it also acts almost like as a valve in a way. You know, that's the way I want the power to go in. And it ends up isolating the main grid from it too. So that's, yeah, that's the plan. That's the plan, and we'll see how it goes. Team, thanks again for joining me. A few hiccups in there, but that's just part of the process. But it's good. I'm glad that we've decided to do this to, like I said, keep me honest and refresh the basics, which I admit I've become rusty at. Alright guys, might just leave it there for the time being, and I will catch you on the next one.